Are you really scared or do you have a self-limiting belief? Let's talk about it. Hey guys, this is Andy with Mindset Matters More. And today I would like to talk about the difference between fear and a self-limiting belief. I feel like people have this confused as to what is really going on in their brain and why they can't start that thing, why they can't move to the next thing, why they are stuck where they are in this loop of constant and continuous ugh, right? That's the only way I can characterize it is that sound. Ugh. And if you feel like, you know what, I want to reach for the next thing, I want to move to the next thing, like I want to grow, I want to be more, I want to do more, then listen to this podcast because I would like for you guys to get a little grip on what it is that could be underlying. And obviously, there's a lot more than just identifying what it is that you have that's preventing you from moving on. You still got to do work around it, but at least today we can start to think about what it is that's going on. Okay. So, first and foremost, let's talk about self limiting beliefs because a lot of times a self limiting belief is so nefarious and insidious, and you just believe that yes, this thing is true, this is real, this is happening, this is exactly what this world means. Like that's how the world operates, and there is no other way to function here. And so here is a list of 15 little thoughts that you might be having that I would just like to say are absolute bullshit. Okay. One, oh, you know what? I'm just going to go through them. Okay. One, I don't deserve to be wealthy. Two, money is the root of all evil. Three, I'm just not good with money. Four, you have to work really hard to earn money. Five, rich people are greedy and selfish. Six, if I make too much money, people won't like me. Seven, I'll never have enough. Eight, I'm not smart enough to figure out investments or wealth building. Nine, I have to choose between doing what I love and making money. 10, money doesn't matter to me. 11, debt is always bad. 12, I'll never get out of debt. 13, if I make more money, I'll lose it all anyways. 14, money can't buy happiness. 15, I'll start saving, investing when I earn more money. Whoa. Number 14 and 15 there, those are some big ones. So, if you've ever had these thoughts, I would like to challenge you to prove yourself wrong because there's a lot that happens in terms of having these beliefs and keeping you from being your full self, realizing your full abundance potential. And let's just go through them, okay? Because really, they're so easy to debunk if you really think about all of these things, they are just so like you really have to sit and think, is this true? Is this a fact? Is this 1100% true? And what you're going to see in your own mind is that it's not true. It's not that it's not true, it's that there are examples of it not being true. Like in some cases, yes, okay, um, you can prove it right, but at the same time, you can find examples to prove it wrong. So where is your focus? Let's talk about one that I find that a lot of people have is rich people are greedy and selfish. Okay. So I recently had a client who said that to me and was like, I don't believe that rich people are good people. They're selfish, they're scheming, they're conniving, they're obsessed with money, they're obsessed with making money, they lie, they cheat, they steal. And I said, okay, okay. Well, first, do you know any people who aren't rich, who lie, cheat, and steal, who are conniving, who are obsessed with making money? And for the first time in that person's life, they were like, "Oh, I actually know a lot of people who don't have money, who lie, cheat, steal, and it's like they're obsessed with making money." Like her mind was just blown. The other thing is it doesn't even have to be between rich or poor. Like even people who are rich, yeah, they can lie, cheat, and steal because they're human. Not because they're rich, not because they have money, but because that is just who they are fundamentally. Same thing with middle class people. They can lie, cheat, steal also and be obsessed with making money too because that's just fundamentally who they are. So it's not about being rich that makes people greedy or rich. So you having money, you having wealth is not going to change who you are fundamentally. So if you're somebody who's good, who's generous, who's kind, who wants to share, who wants to like be happy, who wants to just have the best for the world, that's not going to change because you have money, right? So these are the kind of questions that you ask yourself when you have your limiting belief is okay, let's do another one. Debt is always bad. I mean, there are certain types of debt that yeah, they are bad. I mean, think about borrowing money from a loan shark that's gonna give you a 40% interest. I mean, credit cards. Don't even get me started on credit cards. But some loans are good. Like getting a mortgage for your home, that's not a bad thing. That's actually creating equity in your life. That's actually creating wealth generation in the long term. Business loans are also another great form of debt that can help your business through tough times. It can help you grow when you don't have the capital to expand. And ultimately, it's how you use it, it's how you view it that's going to determine whether or not it's bad. So, again, these things that you believe are what are going to either stop you from moving forward or they are going to just outright paralyze you and even push you backwards. And so, one more limiting belief that I'll talk about is money can't buy happiness. Now, I know this is going to be controversial, but hell yeah, it can buy happiness. I'm not saying that it is happiness, but I'm saying that if you use money in the correct manner, in a way that fuels your soul, then yes, it can be a part of your happiness. Right? I'm not saying that that is the only way to be happy because relationships are happy, but look at it like this, right? This past year, we had a lot of debt come up because we had a family member who was sick. Okay. If I didn't have the money to be in a position to help, like that would have been so much stressful. But to me, having the money was like, you know what? I'm helping, I'm doing what I can to help this person live. How can that not be happiness? So I'm not saying that money is happiness, but it definitely can give you happiness. It can be a vehicle to produce happiness. It's not the only way, so don't conflate the two, but it can produce happiness. Same thing with another client that I have that who loves to share her wealth with her family by taking them on trips. Seeing them explore the world and seeing them do things brings her happiness. Now, are there other ways to do that? Absolutely. But money is a vehicle to do it also. So, outright dismissing and saying, oh, money can't buy happiness, that's an outright lie. So, what is the difference between these self limiting beliefs and fears? So, the self limiting beliefs that we talked about are ways that you view the world, whereas fears are what if this thing happens to me and I cannot navigate it, right? For instance, what if I run out of money and can't pay my bills? What if I lose my job? These things are situations that you are afraid that you won't be able to navigate rather than having this idea about how the world is. So you have to examine, okay, even let's talk about the fear of losing your job, right? What are you doing to mitigate what would happen if you lost your job? Are you saving money? Are you investing? Do you have enough in your reserve to be able to tie you over to be able to get another job? That's the question, right? Is that how can you mitigate these fears? How can you come to realizations that are, okay, is it realistic that you're going to lose your job? Is that something, are you underperforming at work and you feel like, hey, they're going to notice that I'm underperforming and I'm probably going to get fired? Is it something that is like, you know what, I provide no value? Maybe I need to brush up on skills. Like there are different ways to mitigate and to actually work with fears to bring up your confidence to eliminate those versus having to do some soul searching and seeing how you view the world and at large, because ultimately those two things, they're very, while very different, they're going to keep you paralyzed in doing the same thing over and over again and repeating things that are keeping you where you're at. Okay. So you guys, if you want to learn more about this, hit up my Instagram, Coach Andy Hoffer, shoot me a DM, look at my posts lately. I've been talking a lot about money and a lot about relationship with money, and I hope you guys get a lot of benefit from it. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.